What's up, Rockstar? Coach Betty Rocker here. Now I have a question for you. What is your biggest challenge when it comes to eating healthy? Is it that you just don't feel motivated? Is it that you're really short on time? Is it you just kind of feel overwhelmed by all the different diets and eating strategies that are out there? I mean, what is it that is your biggest challenge? Maybe all of those things are challenging for you, because those are the things that I hear about from all of my readers. Those are all things that I've personally struggled with when it comes to being consistent with eating healthy. And I think that's really the key, isn't it? How can we be consistent when we're not feeling motivated, when we don't have enough energy sometimes, when we're really short on time, and when we're feeling just kind of like, what should I do? Which approach should I take, right? Well, I don't have all the answers. What I do have for you today is a solution to staying healthy and staying on your game with healthy eating consistently, regardless of how busy your lifestyle is. What I personally do and what I teach in all of my meal plans are 3 different eating types. And so today we're going to figure out which of the eating types you are. So as I describe them, I want you to tell me which one really sounds the most useful for you. And notice that the other 2 are also available to you, and you may already naturally be doing one of these 3 things. But when we put it into sort of a format like we do in my meal plans, you'll be able to really get the most out of healthy eating every single day. So let's say that you are someone who likes to be super efficient with your time because you're short on time. You like to cook. You like to have food ready to just grab and go every day so that you know you can go in your refrigerator, pull out what you need, and you have the right meals and the right recipes, and everything's sort of just prepared for you. Now, you may be doing just minimal cooking, but whenever you're cooking throughout the week, you're making sure that there's leftovers for the next day, and you've got pretty much all of your food accounted for, and you've done it in one really efficient sort of session, maybe on a Sunday or at the beginning of your week, so that you know everything is basically planned for you and ready to go. That's what I like to call the batch eating style and the batch eating type. Now, to be perfectly honest, I'm able to do batch prepping about once per month. It does take some planning and forethought. What's great with my meal plans is I've done all of that for you. Of course, I'm giving you the grocery lists and the healthy eating guides and the daily menus and all of that stuff and the recipes, so you can just make the stuff, get it all ready. And if you're more experienced with cooking, that's a great option for you. And if you're maybe intermediate and you want to try some of that, that might be a great option for you. But maybe that's not you, and maybe you just don't have the time to do that, or maybe you just want to do something else, because maybe you're almost the opposite. And this is true of me when I'm traveling. I am not going to go prep and make all of this food in advance. I'm not going to have time to do that. I'm not going to eat it all. So I take a more minimal approach. Minimal approach is also fantastic if you are a beginner to healthy eating, or you're just new to cooking in general, or you're traveling like I was describing, or you're just really busy. When I'm in minimal mode, I don't do any of this batch prepping. Instead, I rely on my knowledge of what the healthiest foods are for the situations that I'm in. Because when I'm in minimal mode, I'm usually eating out more at restaurants, or ordering food in, or I'm relying on shortcut foods that I've had to buy already made. And if you have at your fingertips the correct guidelines to how to eat this, not that, or what shortcut foods are optimal for your body, and really an understanding of which carbs, fats, proteins, and greens you want to put in your body, you can easily select the best protein bars, the best ready-made meals, the best shortcut foods and snacks to help you really get your body to stay on track, to have lasting energy, to make you feel good, to keep your results showing up on the outside, regardless of if you've had a lot of time to cook. So that's the minimal approach, and that's also in my meal plans now, because I think it's really important to be able to have that option when you're busy or when you're new, so that you can ease into things. Maybe all you're doing is making a green smoothie, and the rest of it you're relying on stuff that's already made for you. But what if you're right in the middle? Maybe you're somewhere in the middle, and this is usually me a couple weeks out of the month. So I call this next approach the hybrid approach. So you'll have to let me know if this one sounds more like you. So the hybrid approach is the one that we take when we know pretty much that we're going to be making most of our food for the week, but maybe we're not doing it in one efficient prep session. Maybe we're cooking 1 or 2 staples for the week, maybe some of our carbs and proteins ahead of time, but then we're just sort of cooking a little bit bit more on the fly throughout the week as we go, with our intentions around eating the right whole foods. But we're also taking some shortcuts when we need to. We're able to know what the right shortcut foods are, what the right ready-made snacks are for us, so that we don't have to cook everything, so that we can save a little more time cooking. So that's really the hybrid approach. It's a little bit more flexible. It allows you to have more options to pull from if you don't want to cook everything. And the great thing is that I put all of these different options into my meal plans. Now, I personally like to segue through all 3 of these eating types throughout the course of the month. And I was really doing this kind of naturally and not realizing that that's what I was doing. And the real foundation of all of this just comes from knowing what the nutrients do inside of your body. And here on my blog, you have all of these references at your fingertips. In fact, just below this video, I'll put a link to my Healthy Eating 101 series. There's an article about protein, carbohydrates, healthy fats, and greens that explains what each of these key macronutrients do for us. And the micronutrients too, which is why I include the greens. It's very important that you are getting the balance of all of the right nutrients in your body. It empowers you to be able to eat complete meals throughout the day that really satisfy, nourish you, and also help you reach your goals faster. So be sure to use the resources here on the blog. I have a passion for sharing this kind of knowledge and information because of how it's transformed my life, empowered me to live in my best body and in my best life with the greatest energy so that I can give more to the people I care about. And that's really why I'm here, and that's really why I want to share this. So take the time to read through these articles. Take the time to figure out what your eating type is, and take the time to invest in yourself by getting a meal plan that teaches you how to do this for life, so that you're not stuck constantly in that dieting cycle that I used to be stuck in when I was younger, and that so many people are still stuck in. It's great to try out new things. It's great to try out new foods. There's good science behind a lot of the different strategies, but none of them really work for you unless you're able to fit them into your lifestyle, unless you're able to make them sustainable for yourself, how are you going to be able to be consistent with eating that way if you can't even find half the foods, or you're hungry all the time, or you're not feeling good energy, etc. So really, that's why these eating types that I just described, the batch, hybrid, and minimal, are so great to have at your fingertips to really know how to use, and also combining that with the right knowledge of nutrition so that you are empowered to know exactly what to do in any situation that you're in. And then you can build on that knowledge as you go with the experiences that you have with the foods that you eat, because you're unique, so am I. We have different likes and dislikes. We have different intolerances to different foods. And it's very important that you keep track of that you allow yourself to listen to your own body, be your own food scientist, as it were, and just allow yourself to make choices based on what your body is telling you. I'll share that about a year and a half ago, I had my second round of adrenal fatigue. And that came from me just doing things wrong. And no matter how healthy we think we are, we can still make mistakes. And mistakes are such great teachers. They help us go dig deeper, find more information. And that's how I saw that opportunity a year and a half ago. I was like, I thought I had this all figured out, but clearly I don't. And I realized that I was pushing myself a little bit too hard. And even though I was eating healthy foods, I was eating the same foods over and over and over, which was causing my body to not get key nutrients that it needed. Variety is really important in our diet, and it doesn't have to be that you buy everything different every week, because that's really expensive. It's simply a matter of, say, swapping out the greens in your salads or smoothies every other week, or trying different fruits and vegetables when they're in season, or swapping out your protein sources to make sure that you're getting different amino acids into your body that it needs, and just really paying attention to having that variety. So what I did was, of course, I went to my naturopath and doctor. I go to a doctor, an MD and an ND. ND stands for naturopathic doctor. And I got all of my blood tested, and all of my, I got my gut tested as well. And those things gave me great information about what nutrients and what key supplements were missing for me. And I was able to start to customize what foods I was eating and what supplements I was taking. Now, I see supplements really as just an addition to a healthy diet. And when you're eating supplements or taking vitamins specifically for what your blood work or your gut biome shows, it's a lot more effective than just taking a multivitamin. A lot of vitamins don't absorb fully in our bodies, and a lot of the times we're taking in too much of something that we don't need, which isn't great for our bodies. So be mindful of that. I'll also in this article include a link to Viome, which is an at-home kit that you can take to find out these things for yourself. It's awesome. They send you the kit and you send it back to their lab, and then they send it back to you and tell you exactly what you need. It's awesome. It's really incredible technology. I've used it myself and totally believe in it. So I'll put a link for that here. It's really convenient and affordable. So if you're curious and want to follow up on that, please do. Anyway, I've given you a lot to think about today, and I hope it's useful. I look forward to reading your comments in the post below. Share with me which eating type you are, and I'll leave a link to the eating type quiz that you can take if you want to know exactly which one you are and find out how I can help you with your eating type. And of course, you can take advantage of all 3 of the eating types in any of my amazing meal plans. I'm Betty Rocker. You are so awesome and amazing. I look forward to answering your questions in the comments below, and thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you real soon. Bye.